Do you think you have a number? Like, because listen, it's in the book. We could go on for like 2 hours just about you getting pulled into conspiracy theories about your father, that he might have been the Zodiac, that he might have been this, that he might have been that. You've done a tremendous amount of investigation yourself. Do you feel confident in any particular number? Does it even matter as far as the number is concerned? The people's names matter, their lives matter. And we'll talk about this. True crime is a thing that people are, into. And, if you're a serial killer, how many people you've killed becomes a statistic. Do you think you know the number? Do you want to know the number? Do you care?
No, I don't think anyone knows the number. Most of the experts say that without proving anything, they think it's in the 20s. It could be more, it could be less. No one really knows because he was such a chameleon. He was such, I've told people, do you remember when that movie came out, Catch Me If You Can?
Yep.
That movie could have been based on my dad, but my dad's not the only person that was like that. There's a lot of people out there who are like my dad, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of serial killers. I know there's many serial killers that we didn't even know about. There's so many out there now. Thank God for technology because they're able to profile things quicker now. The technology that is out there. And then not just the technology, but with the different agencies talking with one another. That was probably the biggest problem before technology came along, is that the different agencies didn't really talk to each other. I'm not saying it's perfect now. It's not. It could still have a tremendous improvement, but at least it's a lot better. And especially with the DNA as well. So I don't know. I used to lay awake and think about it. I really did. I just don't do that anymore because I really have come to the conclusion I have done almost everything that I thought of that I can do. And that's pretty much been confirmed with other detectives in that because a lot of these crimes were so long ago. They didn't have the technology. Not only that, but a lot of these things weren't even documented properly. And then after so many years, even though it's a cold case, agencies would get rid of things or it's gotten stored somewhere where they forgot. And I've been told it's been 15, but mostly 10 years. They said really 10 years. It's only been about 10 years that a lot of agencies, a lot of police departments are really learning how to store evidence properly, document things, keep records. And that's scary. That to me, that's really a scary thought. But with that being said, I haven't given up on some things. And I know you haven't asked this, but I'm going to lead into this because this is one thing that I'm hoping sheds light with me writing this book. If there was a crime committed, which I think there was, and if there wasn't, that would be great. And I would love to find out one way or the other. But the one that sticks out the most in my mind is Verna. And you read the book. So Verna, I'm just going to let the people out there, if they haven't. Verna was the woman that my dad got pregnant to Idaho Falls. While he was there, he told everyone it was his sister. Meanwhile, he fell in love with another girl named Jeanette. And I've heard a couple different stories, and I've talked to the people. One story is that my dad and Verna and Jeanette left town together, and Verna got dropped off somewhere in Colorado. Another story I heard, and I think this is from my dad's book. My dad says something about leaving town, dropping Verna off, and coming back 3 days later and picking up Jeanette. Well, not only have I tried to find Verna, and the one thing about my dad, when he wrote his book, with the exception of one person that I know of, he used all real names in his book. So I'm thinking there's a Verna out there, but where is she? I don't know. Or if she, if she is out there, but I'm thinking that Verna is not alive. I even went as far as when I was doing the investigating for the podcast, I went to Idaho and I went to the police departments there and I asked them if they had any remains of women that were in their early teens to early 20s that had been pregnant. And they actually had a few, but it wasn't the right time frame. So, and I would really like to know if there's anyone out there who knows anything about Verna, or maybe against all odds, Verna lived and she had a child. And if she had that child is a sibling of mine. I would love to meet them. Matter of fact, that's why I joined 23andMe and Ancestry.com. As much as my dad was out there, I wouldn't be surprised if there's other siblings I have out there. But it's not to say they would want to claim my dad as their father.